Hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome back. We are doing our last file folder journal for the month of January. We've been focusing on file folders, and I got an idea watching a video by Eva at the Crafty Bohemian, and she had a journal that was made out of file folders, and it had flips and flaps and pockets and everything on it. I think she called it, well, the link will be below. It's something Briefcase. But it gave me an idea that I had seen these inserts on Dawn's channel, the Book Vandal shop, and her link is also below. And I thought, what would happen if I put these inserts together and nested them inside each other and put paper in between and made that into a journal. So that's what I'm doing now. This was the first one that we did last time, and it measures 8.5 by 5 3/4, and we're using the Butterflies in Blue collection by Artymaze. So I've covered this one. It has these fold outs here. There's a belly band, there's pocket, side tuck here. Of course, there's pockets here, there's a pocket up here. And I haven't decided what to do on this yet. I thought when I get everything put together, I might want to put a little corner tuck or a flip out or something, but I haven't decided what to put on these because they're not technically covers. They're going to be part of the inside journal. So, but today we're going to do our next insert, and I've titled this Butterflies in Blue Insert Here File Folder Journal. And that's because we're using all of these inserts. Now, Dawn uses these in the center of her journal, in the center signature, and as a wow factor. And they are wow. They're a lot of fun, and she does a great job. So definitely check out her links below. In fact, I've only listed 2 videos, but she has a whole playlist for the file folder videos, so you'll want to check that out too. She's got some other interesting ones. But okay, so this, I am going to put paper in the center of this, and then I am going to make this insert, put paper in the center of it, and this will go inside that insert, and so on. I mean, you could keep going and make it as large as you like, but I think I'm going to do 3. So, or 2 inserts and a cover, we'll see. But this one we did last time, so you can check that out in the playlist. But for this one, we are going to actually, now that one we just folded and scored at the bottom and use those for pockets. This one we're actually going to cut down to the length of our pages. So let me get my cutter out. And the length that we're doing is 8.5. Now, I've got the tab at the top here of the file folder. And I did turn this one inside out because I wanted that tab up there. So I am going to cut off the bottom piece. So flipping that over the back of the file, I'm going to go 8.5. And the reason I'm doing 8.5 is because that's the height of our pages, and this is basically one of the pages. Go over that a couple of times because my blade is getting dull. Okay, so we're going to open this up like this, and then we want to score at 5 3/4. So I'm going to turn this whole thing over because basically you want to get in here. I'm going to use this to hold that up against that edge. And I am going to score at 5 3/4. Okay, then I'm going to flip this around and do the same thing, using my ruler to hold that up against the edge and score at 5 and 3/4. Okay. Now fold that back, and then I will be able to fold these in. Where's my bone folder? Go ahead and use your bone folder to make those nice and flat. Okay. So, I did not leave a gusset on this one. I know Dawn made a half inch, well, she did on her first one, she did a 1/4 inch gusset and then a 1/2 inch gusset, but she had a notebook here, and I'm not going to do a notebook, so technically I guess I could have done the 1/4 inch, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So I want to make this, I want to cut this piece off here, because we're going to have a flippy flappy thing that is like this on the sides, and then also will be on the top and bottom. So let me measure and see where I actually want to cut that. And I never have my ruler going the right direction. That's about 2 1/8. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 2. And I'm going to trim that piece off at 2 inches. So line this up on this last score. I'll make sure everything's nice and straight. It doesn't feel straight. I'm going to turn it around this way. It doesn't feel straight to me for some reason, so I want to, let me see how it's, I think the bottom of the folder is not exactly cut straight. It's just off a smidge, so that's okay. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But sometimes you can just tell. Maybe I'll slide this up here and put this score actually on that 2 inch line, and then, sorry, fold that down. Okay. Now you can save this, use it for a faux tag somewhere else. Alright, so that's going to be our flap for this side. And then we'll be adding another flap there. And this one's going to stay the same, and we're going to open this piece out and have some pockets and such. So, but let's start working on this flipper. Okay, so excuse me, I need a piece to go on here that is going to measure 8.5, because that's the height of our folder, and then it's going to be the 2 plus a 1/2 inch hinge. 1/2 inch hinge. Yeah, okay, say that 3 times fast. So 2.5 by 8.5. So I don't know why I took that out. So let's just open this, and we'll do the 8.5. It's getting tricky with all these little pieces everywhere. So we're going to cut this piece off on the other end of that score, because I don't, oops, there, I need to be more patient because it's not going through the file folder as easily. Okay, so I'm going to turn that around and make that 8.5 inches. And you'll notice I still have a little nick out of that from the file folder, but that's okay. We will score on that side. Well, actually, if we trim it down, it's not going to matter, because we want this to be 2.5, so that's going to take that right off. It's not even going to matter. So 2.5. Okay. I don't know if I will use that, but alright, so now we need to score at a 1/2 inch on this piece. And that will leave us with a 2 inch flap to match the other flap. Okay. So let's see. Now we will want to trim a little bit of this off on the corners. But I am going to put a little piece of Tyvek here and here. Just for some extra durability. And that didn't go straight at all. So we'll fix that here. Okay. So I hope everyone had a great weekend. It went by really, really, really quickly. So, where's my... Well, I didn't fill up my glue bottle. Apologies. I will stop here in a minute and fill it up after I get these pieces together, because I'm going to have to prep my mats for covering this up. We're almost done with the structure, but don't need to go all the way to the end, which I did anyway. Go. And we'll do the same thing here. Then I'll fast forward because you guys have seen me do this. So we want to put this on here. Right in front of that score line, not on it, but right up to it, so that we have the whole width of this page. I am going to snip this a little bit here, just maybe from this side of the score line to maybe 1/4 of an inch. Don't need much, just so that it doesn't stick out. There we go. Okay, and we will glue this down. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and ink this really quickly because it will be easier to ink now. In fact, I'll go ahead and ink this piece too. I'm using gathered twigs, but I think there's still a little bit of, it feels a little red still. I think there's some, still a little bit of that vintage photo in there. And this is a flap, so I'm doing both sides. Just you know, just messily. I can always add more later, but it's easier to do the bulk of it while it's not attached. Okay. Get all that off. Let's get this glued on. Yeah, so it's been raining here. It's cloudy today, but the sun is actually peeking through, so I'm enjoying that because it's been drizzling on and off since Friday, and that's okay. But I didn't watch the news, so I don't know how much snow we actually got up in the mountains. So all right, so I'm going to put this on here, like I said, right to the left of that score line. And the way I'm going to know that is by folding this over, and it will push it to where it needs to go. Okay. ink all over my fingers, but that Tyvek is a little ink resistant, but that's okay. All right, so everything's lined up. We've got our flap this way, our flap this way, and now we want to add the top flaps. Now, if you're concerned about these pieces poking out the top and bottom, you can surely angle those top and bottom, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I am going to go ahead and finish inking around the Tyvek so I don't forget. And we did that. I'm going to go ahead and ink here, only because we're going to be working with this piece and I want to make sure we get an ink. This is not a pocket this time. A couple weeks ago when we did that other book, we made this into a pocket. There's so many possibilities, guys. I hope the one thing that you're learning from me, I mean, a lot of you have said that you enjoy watching, and you know, you've made some of the books that I've shown you, and that's so exciting for me. But I hope the one thing that you're learning is that you can take something from somebody else. You know, take inspiration, I should say, not stealing, but, you know, take inspiration from someone else and make it your own. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but, you know, make it your own. So, and I am so thankful for all my YouTube, the people that I follow, because they have some wonderful ideas, you know, and they get them from other people as well. And they make it their own, and then I make it my own, and so on and so on. And, you know, that's the way it is. And it's fun because, you know, I'll sit and I'll be watching a video and I'll get an idea, and I try to write it down because it never fails. If I don't write it down, I won't remember it tomorrow. Or I'll be saying, oh, there was something I wanted to do, but I don't remember what it is. So I don't know why I got off on this inking tangent, but since I'm here, I might as well go ahead and finish this, and I'll fast forward here. So, this could go either way. You can have this flap here with this coming down on the right, or you can do it on the left. Either way works. So I'm going to do it this way for now. Now let's work on these top and bottom flaps. And I may not have mentioned that to do this project you're going to need 1.5 to 2 file folders, depending on how many pockets, etc. So I'm going to, I don't think this is quite big enough because I want this to overlap each other, and it's not big enough for that. So I'm going to do some measuring because it's what I do. Half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. If I want them to overlap, I need to go, if I do, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I do 5, they will overlap right here. And then I need 1/2 inch for the hinge. Okay, so I think I'll do 5.5 for those pieces, and then 5.5 this way times 2. 2 pieces, and then as far as width, I need it to fit inside this 5.5. So I think I'll do, actually, looks like 5.5 will, because I did 5 3/4. So let's do that. 5.5 by, let's just do 5.5 by 5.5. That way we know for sure it's gonna fit. Okay. Get this over here. So, and I think we could get that out of one piece. So I'm gonna trim this off at the score line. Just stand up. Okay. So 5.5 is here. And then we want 5.5. And 5.5. Something didn't go right on there, because those are not square. So let me see what I did. All right, this is 5.5. This is 6.5. Okay, that's not the first time that's happened, because I can't tell the difference between the 5 and the 6 down here. And it's not the 5, it's the 6. The 6 kind of looks like a 5 when it's upside down. So let's see. Let's bring that back in and see how much that overlap is going to be if I do it this way. So I've got a 1/2 inch there and a 1/2 inch here, and see, they overlap like 3 inches. I don't need that much overlap. So let's see, if I do, if I cut off 1 inch on either one, which is where they should have been, then I'm at a 2 inch overlap. Yeah. All right, so let's do that. And basically I'm going to be cutting off those little score lines. So back to 5.5 instead of 6.5. Okay, now it's a square. What do they say? Measure twice, cut once. You know, I have a whole stack of file folders over here, so I'm good. And it's not like all this is going to get wasted, because I'll use all these pieces, making tabs and pockets, and these are really good for making paper clips. I don't save anything that's less than 1 inch. I mean, I do in decorative paper. Like, I'll save all the little trims off the top, but if it's just a little snippet kind of thing, I will not. All right, so let's score this a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to do it on this side because it's easier to do here than it is here. So I'm just going to score at the 5 and 5. And that way we have our little piece that goes at the top and bottom. We will ink these before we adhere. Okay. Okay, now we want to trim off those little corners, about 1/4 inch to the score line. Okay, same thing here. Probably should have done that first. So let's bring this back in. And this will be for putting journal cards, or maybe some writing paper, or whatever. You'll be able to, oops, tuck this inside, and then these flaps will come down top and bottom and encase it. Now, I wouldn't put something this large in there, but you get the idea. All right, so we want to adhere this here, and I am going to center this between this score line and this score line. That way I don't have any bumpage. That's the technical term for when your cardstock bumps into the other piece. Bumpage. Okay guys, I'm back. That means I am gabbing too much and not working so much. So all I did was glue this piece on, and I centered it. I'm aligning it with the edge, but I'm centering it between the two score lines, and that will keep it from rubbing up against the side flaps. Get in there. Lots of things you could do here. You could make your side flaps on the outside if you wanted, but we're gonna I'm gonna turn this upside down so I can see better. And there again, hopefully you can see this. I'm lining that right up between those two score lines, and then I also want to line it up with this paper here, and there we go. And like I said, that overlap, what did that overlap end up being? Let's see. Yeah, it ended up being 1.5 inches, which is where I wanted it to begin with. All right. All right. That's great. Rub this down in here. The paper that we mat on here is going to cover all of this. So, okay. So this will go, these two in, and then this one up. Uh-oh. See what I'm getting some bumpage here. So I am going to trim these down just a smidge. I'm going to probably go in, oh gosh, I'm going to make it square. No, I'm going to go to the corner. I'm going to go, and you guys probably can't see this because I'm going to do like a 1/16 of an inch, and I'm just going to go to the corner like that. Okay, just like that. Same thing here. Like so. Well, let's see if that works. We've got those. No, that's not working. I need to go, well, that one seems okay. This one, I need to go a little bit more. I think I've got this pocket up a little high. You can see right there where my pocket's a little high. It probably should be down a little bit, but the glue is set, so I'm stuck. So I'm just going to trim a little bit more off this edge here. See if that works, because we need it to set nicely inside. There we go. Okay, so let's do this one the same way. Out, ink that up, you'll never know, and the same thing at the top here. I'm just turning it around so I can have a better access to it. There we go. Alright, so let's get that one in there. This side is good, this side is good, and we're good. Okay, so that's all I took out. All right, 1/16 of an inch. All right, so that is our main structure. Okay, so we can put journal cards, writing paper in here. That goes up, this goes down. I'm going to put a magnet closure here, I think. I've got these magnets that I need to use up, and I think they're not quite as flat as I would like, but I think if I use these here, I can put a little flower or something on top there that will work. And here we want to put a pocket. And so let's pull back. We've got these pieces here. That's kind of a short pocket. What if we did a staggered pocket there? Because I've got this piece that's cut off from another project, and I could do a staggered pocket here. There again, we probably want to go 5.5 so that we're not bumping into these pieces that fold. So let's cut that. So let's, I'm just going to do a regular square pocket. So I'm going to cut this fancy edge off. Okay, I'm having to do a lot of extra work. I'm getting my work out today. So let's go 5.5. There we go. All right. And I think I am going to punch these. So half of 5.5 is 2 1/4. Does that look right? No. And I did not, yeah, half of 5.5. Half of 5 is 2 1/2. Oh, okay. So it's 2 3/4. That's why it didn't look right. Does that look right? Yes. Okay. All right. Punch out those little pockets there. I just love that little notch. I just think they're pretty. Look, I have a little booklet here from what I cut off. Okay. So let's ink this. And I'm just going to put on this double pocket here. And actually I'm not, because I need to cut my mats, but I wanted to show you how this is going to go. So this will go here and line up with the bottom. And it will be glued on 3 sides. This one will be glued on just the 2 sides. Unless you don't want that pocket to be, you know, to go all the way down, and then you can glue on that one as well. So I'm going to glue that there and that there, kind of a third of the way down. So what I'll probably do is glue this one on 2 sides right in the middle of the page, like so. And then I will glue this one down, lining it up on all 3 sides. But I want to go ahead and mat the pages first. And then I'll probably use an ephemera piece over here after I mat it for a tuck. And then maybe a side tuck here. So we're not completely finished with this one. This one's going to take a couple of days, but I need to cut some paper to mat all of this, and then we will be back. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you're playing along. See you next time.